Yesterday was Mother's Day, and I was talking to my mom about how YouTube was going, and she's like, "You're not putting any videos out there that would like embarrass me or yourself in the future." And I was like, this is my pug chapstick. I was like, no. No. I do pretty standard stuff on the YouTube. This is how I broke my vagina, part 1. What is up, YouTube? I'm back with another story time video, and this is going to be a 2-part, a little series for you guys. How I broke my vagina, part 1 and 2. Actually, both of these parts, they're independent stories. Broke my vagina twice. Once when I was like 7, and then once a couple years ago. So, hope this is fun. Hope that you guys enjoy me talking about this. So I'll set the scene for you. It was summertime, the beginning of summer. I was 7, my sister was around 11. I was the annoying little sister, but we still hung out. We had a time, we had a good time. And we were kind of playing gymnastics. So we were like trying to strike different poses, and we would kind of rate each other's form. We were like, you know what I mean? Like how the girls are like, it was probably like the Olympics that summer, which is what inspired us. But anyways, we were like, you know, trying to one up each other, and I was like, I'm gonna go for the big kahuna. I'm like gonna freaking go for it, man. And I climb up on the chair of our couch, which is the chair of the couch. Like pretty high. I think it's probably like 3 feet. And I climb up there, and I'm like, I'm gonna do it. And my sister's like, don't do it. And so I jump off, I strike my pose in the air. I feel freaking graceful and glamorous up there. For a split second, you know, the world stops. And I land on the hardwood floor in the splits. And I immediately just like break down into tears. I just remember it was like the most searing and terrible pain of my life. And I feel like the world stopped spinning. I remember my sister literally screamed because, it did like make a noise. Like, I can't imagine exactly what the noise sounded like, but there was a noise that was made when I landed, that indicated that like things weren't right. And I started bleeding a lot. I remember I was bleeding all over the floor, and my sister immediately went to get my mom, and she's like, Shayna's crotch is broken. Because like back in the day, you know, we didn't use the word like vagina. I think my parents wanted to like desexualize our body parts or whatever, so we called it a crotch. And my mom was like, what? My sister was like, Shayna broke her crotch. And I don't remember like the chaos that ensued then, but I know that my whole family loaded into the car, family trip, family outing, and we all went to the emergency room. And I remember in the emergency room, there was a lot of like strange back and forth, because the circumstances of me like jumping off the couch and breaking my vagina, it's suspicious, I'd say. It's strange. It's a strange occurrence. Like, it doesn't happen all the time, you know? And so they like kind of did suspect my parents of abusing me or something like that, but like obviously that's not the case. That would be a very different story time. And yeah, so I remember going in, I like explained to 100 different people what happened. And I really remember like, so they ended up having to give me stitches. I think they gave me like 7 or 8 stitches in my vagina. And that's the first time I got stitches in my vagina. Happened again not that long ago, spoiler alert. So, and I do remember, like, I was completely awake in the operating room or whatever, and I remember they were, like, talking to me as they were stitching up my vagina, and I could feel, like, the cold instruments they were using. Like, I could feel, like, the coldness. Like, I couldn't feel the pain of the needle, but I could feel, like, the coldness of it, if you can imagine that. It's not comfortable. Yeah, so they stitched her right up, and they were like, okay, be really careful with that little thing. It's fragile, and you are not allowed to go in the water at all. And my parents were like, that sucks. And I was like, it does? And they're like, yeah, because we signed you up for a like 2-month-long summer camp, and it is a water sports summer camp. And I was like, and they like tried to get a refund so that I wouldn't have to like suffer all summer long, but they could not. And like the summer camp would not refund their money, even like given the circumstances. And so what I ended up doing was sitting on a pillow all summer long as like my friends and like other little kids went on the goddamn slip and slide, and like we're like spraying each other with water guns and all of those things, like running under the hose. And I was sitting on this little pillow, and I think it's so weird because like my parents didn't tell the counselors like why I was doing what I was doing. Like they didn't let them know. They were kind of just like, okay, little bitch, like you and your pillow, go have fun all day. We gotta go to work and do big kid things. And I was like, okay. And I remember one of the counselors, she was like 16 probably. She was like, so like, why are you sitting on the pillow? Like, what's up? And I was like, I broke my vagina. And she was like, and then she like called over her other like cool counselor friends, and then she was just like, say what you just said to me. And I was like, I broke my vagina. And like I was a very outspoken kid, so I probably was like really loving the attention, but like now that I'm a little older, I realized they were all 100% they were laughing at me. Like that is humorous. This like 7-year-old who's sitting on a pillow, like she's like, I broke my vagina. And like I remember the other kids, they called me like pillow girl, which is like not even funny. Do better, I guess. This is funny. Name one thing funnier than pillow girl. My pug chapstick. But yeah, so it healed up pretty good, I guess. I've never really seen another vagina, like face to vagina, so I don't know if like the stitches at all were visible later on in life. I don't think they were. But yeah, that's basically it. That's my story of how I broke my vagina. And you know what? I'm stronger for it. Pillow girl came out on the other side. Pillow girl came out laughing at all those bitches because my vagina has way more character. It's been through a lot. She's very powerful. And I hope you enjoyed this part 1. Part 2 is kind of a more dramatic story. It's more of like a medical story and less of like an injury, if you will. Even if you won't. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you guys will leave a comment, leave me a subscribe. And I hope you have an amazing day and join me for part 2 of I Broke My Vagina. Part 2. Okay, thanks guys. I love you.